Netflix dropped all 10 episodes from the period drama thriller in its entirety on April 19 for aunces to consume in one marathon. Watch.The Alienist, adapted from Caleb Carr's 1994 novel of the same title, is set in 1986 in the Gilded Age of New York. However, the city is in turmoil after it's struck with a series of gruesome murders as young male prostitutes are kidnapped and brutally mutilated before being left for dead. As the frenzied attacks intensify and the authorities get no closer to the truth of the matter, Police Commissioner Theodore Roosevelt, played by Brian Geraghty, brings in outside help. Dr. Laszlo Kreizler, Daniel Bruhl, a so-called alienist, a Victorian term for psychiatrist, is brought on board to the case and catch the before any more people are harmed. Joining him is the police commissioner's secretary Sarah Howard, Dakota Fanning, and newspaper illustrator John Moore, Luke Evans. But are any of these characters real, or are they just flights of fancy? Is The Alienist based on a true story? Did Dr. Laszlo Kreizler from The Alienist really exist? Sadly not. Dr. Kreizler didn't really exist and is simply a fictitious character. He feels like a darker version of Sherlock Holmes as he wrestles with his own demons from the past and tries to use modern means to solve the crime. The Alienist is just the first in a series of novels in the Dr. Kreizler book series. The following installments are The Angel of Darkness, 1997, Surrender, New York, 2016, and The Alienist at Armageddon, which is slated for a 2019 release. While another book, The Strange Case of Mrs. Sarah X, is also said to be on the cards. Dr. Kreizler isn't the only one who's not real. Sarah and John are also fictional. Despite not being real, they come into contact with historical figures that did exist. What is an alienist? Which characters in The Alienist are real? There are a number of real-life historical characters, including Theodore Roosevelt, who really was the police commissioner of New York and was credited in the history books as cleaning up corruption. Other characters include New York Police Detective Thomas Burns, Dead Levine, whose nose is put out of joint by Dr. Kreizler and his team, who are investigating a case he's supposed to have solved. Financier J.P. Morgan, Michael Ironside, makes an appearance, and it's hinted that he's a womanizer. Notorious New York gangster James Biff Ellison, Falk Henschel, has a role to play in The Alienist as he appears to hinder the case. Also criminal Paul Kelly, Antonia Magro, who set up the 5 Points Gang in the Big Apple, appears in the show. The Alienist Season 2 Netflix release date. Yet another mobster to show up in The Alienist is Jack McManus, Roxy Williams, who was the second in command of the 5 Points Gang. Serial Jesse Pomeroy, Stephen Louis Grush, makes a particularly terrifying appearance in The Alienist after Dr. Kreizler goes to speak to him about the ings in New York. In The Alienist, Pomeroy seems to be a former patient of Dr. Kreizler's, as the pair seem familiar with each other. In real life, the murderer was known as the Boston Boy Fiend and attacked a number of young boys and later progressed to murder. Other real-life people in The Alienist include Bishop Henry C. Porter, Sean McGinley, newspaper reporter Jacob Rees, Nicholas Bro, and journalist Lincoln Stephan.